strategies to reignite your creativity. Writer's block. It's the dreaded affliction that every writer faces at some point in their journey. Whether you're an aspiring novelist, a seasoned journalist, or simply someone who writes for work or pleasure, that feeling of staring at a blank page and drawing a complete blank can be terrifying. It's not just the lack of words, but often the emotional frustration that follows, making even the most seasoned writers feel stuck and inadequate. But here's the good news: writer's block is not permanent. Like any other creative obstacle, it can be overcome with the right strategies, mindset, and approach. In this video, we'll explore why writer's block happens, offer practical tips to help you navigate through it, and provide insights on how to prevent it from taking over your writing process in the future. What is writer's block? Writer's block is the inability to produce new work or continue a current project. It can manifest in various forms. 1. Inability to start. You may have an idea, but getting it down on paper feels impossible. 2. Losing the plot. Halfway through your work, you lose sight of the story or argument. 3. Overthinking. You criticize your work so much that you can't move forward. 4. Burnout. Feeling mentally exhausted and disconnected from your creative process. While writer's block can feel deeply personal and often emotional, it's a challenge faced by almost every writer. Understanding why it happens is the first step to moving past it. Why do writers experience block? Point 1. Fear of failure. Many writers, especially perfectionists, are paralyzed by the fear that their work won't be good enough. This pressure can prevent words from flowing naturally. 2. Burnout. Constantly pushing yourself without taking breaks can lead to mental exhaustion. Writing requires mental energy, and if you're drained, inspiration won't come easily. 3. Overplanning or lack of planning. Some writers overthink their structure or outline, leaving no room for creativity, while others start without a clear direction, leading to confusion down the line. For personal or external stress, life outside of writing can significantly impact creativity. Personal issues, work stress, or even global events can make it difficult to focus on writing. 5. Self-doubt. Every writer experiences moments of self-doubt, questioning whether their ideas are worth writing about. This internal critic can shut down the creative process before it even begins. Now that we've looked at why writer's block occurs, let's dive into how to overcome it. 1. Set realistic expectations and deadlines. One of the major contributors to writer's block is the pressure to write something perfect. If you expect every sentence to be a masterpiece, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Writing is a process, and first drafts are meant to be messy. Don't aim for perfection, just aim for progress. Tip: instead of telling yourself, "I need to write a full chapter today," break it down into manageable tasks. Try something like, "I'll write 500 words," even if they aren't perfect. Once you've lowered the stakes, the pressure eases and the words start to flow. 2. Establish a writing routine. Inspiration is often unpredictable, but routine can be your best friend. By writing at the same time each day, your brain starts to associate that time with creativity. Whether it's first thing in the morning or late at night, find a time when you're most productive and commit to writing during those hours. Tip: set a timer for 15 or 30 minutes and just write. Even if it's not related to your current project, you'll be creating momentum, and often that's enough to get you past the initial block. 3. Change your environment. Sometimes all it takes to overcome writer's block is a change of scenery. Writing in the same space every day can make it feel monotonous and uninspiring. Try switching it up by going to a park, a cafe, or even a different room in your house. New surroundings can stimulate creativity. Tip: if you can't physically change locations, consider rearranging your workspace or even playing different music to create a fresh atmosphere. 4. Use writing prompts or free writing. Writing prompts are a fantastic way to get your creative juices flowing. They force you to think outside of your usual writing routine and tackle new ideas. Free writing, where you write whatever comes to mind without worrying about structure or grammar, is another useful tool for loosening up your brain and shaking off mental cobwebs. Tip: set a timer for 10 minutes and free write without stopping. Let your thoughts flow, even if they seem random or unstructured. The goal isn't to create a perfect piece, but to prime your creative brain for your real writing project. 5. Step away from writing. It may sound counterintuitive, but stepping away from writing can actually help your brain recharge. Engaging in other creative activities like drawing, painting, or even listening to music can spark new ideas. The brain needs time to process and synthesize information, and sometimes the best ideas come when you're not actively trying to write. Tip: give yourself permission to take breaks. Go for a walk, do some yoga, or engage in a hobby you love. Let your mind wander, and you may find that your subconscious solves your writing block. 6. Break down your project into small chunks. When a project feels overwhelming, it's easy to get stuck. Breaking it down into smaller, manageable tasks can make the process less intimidating. Instead of thinking about finishing an entire book, focus on completing a chapter, a page, or even a paragraph. Small victories add up and keep you motivated. Tip: use the Pomodoro technique by working in 25-minute intervals, followed by a 5-minute break. After, for intervals, take a longer break. This structured approach can help you stay focused without feeling overwhelmed. 7. Embrace imperfection and write the bad draft. Many writers face block because they're afraid their writing isn't good enough. But here's the truth: your first draft doesn't have to be good, it just has to exist. You can't edit a blank page, but you can always improve a bad draft. Allow yourself to write poorly, knowing that you'll polish it later. Tip: set a goal to write a bad first draft on purpose. Challenge yourself to embrace imperfection and see how liberating it can be. 8. Engage in writing exercises. Sometimes writer's block isn't about being stuck in your current project, it's about feeling creatively blocked overall. Writing exercises can help you break out of this rut by challenging your brain to think differently. Try writing flash fiction, experimenting with different perspectives, or even writing in a genre you're unfamiliar with. Tip: experiment with different voices or styles. If you usually write in the third person, try writing in the first person or vice versa. Challenge yourself to write a poem or a short story using a unique structure. 9. Read. If you're struggling to write, reading can be a great way to reignite your creative spark. Reading books within your genre can inspire you with new ideas, while reading outside your usual realm can offer fresh perspectives. It also helps to read about the writing process itself, as many writers share tips on overcoming blocks in their memoirs or interviews. Tip: pick up a book that's completely different from what you're working on. If you're writing a mystery novel, try reading a memoir or science fiction. Exposure to different genres and writing styles can spark new creative ideas. 10. Surround yourself with fellow writers. Writing is often a solitary activity, but connecting with other writers can provide much-needed motivation. Joining a writer's group, attending workshops, or even having a writer friend to talk to can offer fresh perspectives and support. Sometimes all it takes is hearing someone else's struggles or ideas to overcome your own block. Tip: start or join a writing group where you can share your work and receive feedback. Being part of a community helps reduce feelings of isolation and can provide valuable insights into your own writing. 11. Identify the root cause of your block. It's important to take the time to reflect on what might be causing your writer's block. Is it fear of judgment, perfectionism, lack of direction? Once you identify the root cause, you can work on addressing it directly. For example, if fear of judgment is holding you back, consider writing something just for yourself, with no intention of sharing it. Tip: journal about your writer's block. Often, writing about why you're stuck can help you uncover the reasons behind it, and in doing so, you may find solutions. 12. be patient and kind to yourself. Finally, it's important to remember that writer's block is a natural part of the creative process. Be patient with yourself and recognize that it's okay to take breaks, slow down, or even struggle at times. Writing is an art form, and like all art, it requires persistence and resilience. Tip: celebrate your small victories. Even if you only write a paragraph or a sentence today, acknowledge that you're making progress. Every word is a step toward overcoming the block. Conclusion: reclaim your creative flow. Writer's block is a temporary obstacle, not a permanent state. By experimenting with different strategies, adopting a positive mindset, and allowing yourself the freedom to create without judgment, you can overcome this challenge and get back to writing. Embrace the process, trust in your abilities, and remember, words will come. Overcoming writer's block isn't about forcing creativity, but about understanding your own rhythms, nurturing your creativity, and giving yourself permission to write imperfectly. With patience and persistence, you'll find your way back to the joy of writing. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.